Hi, I'm Charlie Polinger, and I am the director of The Plague.
Hi, I'm Kayo and I play Jake in The Plague.
Okay, Kayo. What is like the biggest difference for you between creating content and acting in a movie?
Biggest difference is creating content, you can be anybody you want. Being a character, you have to be that same person for the whole summer. You know, content, it's just one take and it's done. But in acting, we would do what, 50 takes, 100 takes, so.
I think the most we ever did in any scene was like 13 takes.
But even 13 takes, I've never done 13 takes in content before.
I feel like with your content, you're going around like doing a lot of things and like jumping on things and being crazy.
Yeah.
But in the movie, there's a lot of scenes where you're really just like listening to someone and you're like watching them.
Did you think I was gonna be different then from my videos to the content, or do you think I was gonna be the same?
I knew you would be, bring a lot of sort of like high energy. But actually, I was really impressed by how like focused you were. Like you came knowing the lines. When we were actually like rolling, you were like totally like in the character and there in the zone. When we call cut, it could get a little crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Tell the directors out there I don't disrupt the sets though.
Okay.
So what was something you discovered about each young actor when we were all in Romania?
I discovered that you're pretty good at water polo. Kenny actually played water polo before. Caden got really into kind of like these dances and these little John impressions. I feel like you were actually like too good at skateboarding for Jake. Like It wouldn't make sense if Jake was able to do some of the stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
So we had to like tamp it down a little bit. But I knew when I saw your Instagram and I saw that you skateboarded that it felt right that Jake would be skateboarding.
Yeah, in the early 2000s and stuff for sure.
But just that he would be like kind of good, but not like really good.
Yeah. I was trying to ollie the stairs offset, and then the lady came and took one of the chaperones took my board for a little bit because I tried to ollie the set.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah.
Did you know any of the other actors before filming, and what was like the rehearsal process like for you?
So I had one phone call with the guy, Lucas. He plays Logan in The Plague, but the rehearsal we did the full read through on that table, and Joel was on Zoom, and all of the cast sat down in Romania like a week before, and we did a full read through of the script.
I mean, we started doing rehearsal that was even like you guys would just hang out in the bunk rooms or hang out in the locker rooms and just get to know the spaces and just like in character, just sort of like hang out for half an hour.
Yeah, definitely.
How was that?
I mean, I remember you would film some horizontal on your phone of me and Everett going over the lines, and I don't know how his phone is like waterproof or something, but he would put his phone under the water and film us rehearsing for the fight scene at the end. Sometimes we had to tread water in between takes, so that was pretty hard, but water polo is just a super hard sport, so having to go for like 5 minutes straight just throwing the ball and stuff. Even though it was hot in Romania, it was pretty cold staying in there all day, but were you there every single day of editing?
Yeah.
How many times have you watched the movie, you think?
Probably like 30.
30 rough cuts and stuff? That's crazy.
At least, yeah.
Damn. And then when it was like fully done, how did you know when it was fully done? Were you like, this is it?
We knew we were fully done because we watched it one time with an audience and the credits sort of started rolling and I just had this feeling and I felt like this is how it's meant to feel at the end.
How many days did it take to edit?
4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months? Damn. What was the hardest part of editing?
The hardest part of editing was there's so many like amazing takes and even just like amazing moments just between like all the guys and having to kind of like cut that down to keep the story moving. It was like a little painful to cut some stuff out that was amazing. All right, so this movie is set in 2003. What did you know about 2003 before this was filmed, and like what did you learn?
I definitely listened to some of the music before I went there. I was listening to some of that music, trying to get in the vibe. Besides the like fits that we were wearing and the music and stuff, it didn't feel that much different than it would today. We couldn't have any phones or anything. We had to, wear like we had to do the iPod and stuff. Or what was that thing called? They click with the headphones that Kenny was like.
Yeah, the iPod.
Is that an iPod?
Yeah.
Yeah, the iPod and stuff, yeah.
I remember like the costume fittings was like a big deal because for you guys to wear these like early 2000s clothes, and some of them I think you guys were into, and some you're like, what is this? Like, who would ever wear this? I visited my parents right before I flew out for the shoot, and I sort of like took all these clothes from my childhood that were like in the attic of my mom's house, and I flew them out to Romania.
I wore any of them or no?
Yeah, tons of. I mean, you guys were all like trying on all these clothes that were like my clothes from the 2000s.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like so much of that stuff.
Yeah,
Lot of
all the
them,
2000s
yeah.
clothes were different, but yeah, we were. I liked that. I liked them.
I mean, did you feel like reading the script and the way that the characters talked that it felt very different from like people right now, or felt pretty similar to your experience being like 13?
It feels similar. It's definitely like perverted talk and stuff. Pretty the same. Not gonna lie.